Hello, Internet. We're back on another edition of Salient Points. This one's number 34 for August 13, 2021. I'm your host, Carlos Macias. I'm the founder of We Got Comms or something like that, right? It's like a little website out on the Internet. Make sure to check that out. Make sure to like and subscribe, right? We're doing that too, right, guys? Ooh. I think, or something. We get a little subscribers. Whoever's subscribing, thank you guys for listening. We got to solicit questions or something, right? We got to get some questions. We got to get some little community activity going so we can. We'll just make it longer. It could be a 3-4 hour show. Who cares? You know, you feel me, Dalan? You feel me though? Like Marshawn Lynch over there. You gotta take care of your mentals. We got as per usual, Dalan Kirkwood up in the mountain. Thank you for joining me, sir.
Take care of your chicken.
Wow. Yeah, you definitely take care of your mentals and your chicken. You feel me though? Luis Mendez, he's been alive for a while, man. I'm glad your what do they call it? Your constitution? Is that what they call it? Your constitution's been well kept, I think.
Maybe.
Thank you for joining us. You would know, man. Red Dead Redemption. I'm sure they say all kinds of old timey weird words on there.
True.
Right?
Let's ride.
They say let's ride like 10 times in that game. No, more than 5, less than 10 times for sure. There's a lot of let's ride. There's a lot of let's ride in that game. Speaking of Rockstar game, though, the big story, there wasn't too much craziness this week. This one was just kind of interesting, the one that is put as a headline. So we're finding out, and this is a Kotaku report, that Rockstar Games is working on on remasters of GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas, and they should be dropping this fall for pretty much all the consoles. This includes the Nintendo Switch. Now, this isn't confirmed by Rockstar Games themselves, right? This is just kind of a report from Kotaku. As part of the report, they did say that it's they're being recreated or reported or whatever you want to call them, in Unreal Engine, and it will have a mix of, quote, new and old graphics, unquote. Dalan, what does that mean? What does that mean, new and old graphics?
What it means is they're still not doing this game justice as they could be doing it right now, because we have graphics that are way beyond new and old graphics. We have the realistic graphics. There are people out there with mods that make this game look beautiful, but Rockstar's like, nah, we don't want it to be that beautiful.
I'm glad you agree. I'm glad we agreed, and they're kind of bullshitting over here, right? They're kind of like, look, we'll do enough to where it looked nice and clean, but they're not necessarily saying we're recreating this thing right from the ground up or nothing like that. So it's interesting to see. I'm definitely excited about playing Vice City again. I would give that a shot again. Dude,
that's your favorite. That's your favorite GTA.
You can put it up there as one of my favorite games, dude. I think it's definitely one of. Tommy Vercetti, they'll never let him out. I knew that because I didn't have a memory card for the longest time, so I had to start from the beginning. I had to start from the very beginning every single time. You kids nowadays don't understand that. You have hard drives. You even got SSD drives. Man. You even have SSD drives that load shits instantly. It's crazy. Luis, how you feeling about this, man? Are you excited? What is this new and old graphics thing about? You being a developer, sir, you understand what that means?
I don't know. That's some weird phrasing. The only thing that sort of gives me an inkling as to it is going to look different, but maybe it's sort of a stylized version of it. It is in a new game engine, so they do have to re-import all the assets. It's not like they just kind of bring in new textures and then say, all right, we're ready to rock. I think it is going to be bringing in new assets. They obviously have to rebake all the lighting or create all the lighting and possibly, I don't know, reflections. We'll see if they go that far. But
it could look pretty nice. It could look pretty nice, right? Like, I mean, it's not going to look incredible, amazing, right? But it could look decent, right? The other thing I think they mentioned too, so first of all, kind of give you an indication as to how far they'll go with it, is that they're saying it's going to be a Nintendo Switch version, and I think I saw that it'll be a mobile version too. So, they can be pushed pretty far nowadays, right? Even the Switch can do some graphics, but I think that'll give us an indication as to it can do some new and old graphics. How about that? So I think that's an indication as to how much work they'll put into it. They give me new trophies, man, and I hope they're nice and smooth and easy trophies, and I'm down. I'm down to play as Tommy Vercetti again. They'll never let me out.
They'll never let him out.
And then you got the other CJ, right, with the here we go again, or or what's the little
Yup.
meme? It was like,
Oh shit, here we go again.
Oh shit. My favorite part of that one, and I think I guess I didn't have a memory card up till then either, because I still remember the little bicycle scene from the very beginning. And he says, CJ, keep up, motherfucker. And then he says, CJ, you just a buster. I was like, oh damn, he's getting hit up over here. Dude, those games were great.
Hey, Sam Jackson, man.
They took a little detour into realism with GTA 4, but then they went back to wacky with GTA 5, which it's not full wacky. I can't imagine the people that never played 3, Vice City, and San Andreas, like, these games were wacky as shit. You guys gotta understand that they were very wacky.
Well,
very
I will
wacky.
say this. I won't go as far as to specifically call it wacky, but I will say it was very over the top. I'd very much love to see Rockstar decide we're gonna take Big Trouble in Little China and throw it into this game. I want to see how that rolls out.
That's very fair. As far as what Luis was saying, kind of importing all the textures and all that, I have been playing Psychonauts, and on Xbox they actually do like auto HDR. They kind of up the frame rates. I don't know what kind of algorithm or whatever they're doing, right? So
I feel like you're blowing your load right now.
No. We're gonna talk about it later, but really quick, what I'm saying is that game looks pretty nice, dude. Some of the gameplay and stuff is, it's decidedly old, but it looks nice. It looks as nice as maybe what this is gonna look like. I guess we'll find out. On related news, Steven Totillo, he writes for Axios. He said on Twitter, he said I never played 3, gave up on Vice City because of the aiming, so I love the remasters. And then he said back in 2019, a source close to Rockstar told me remasters were being made in Unreal. Couldn't corroborate. And for what it's worth, also said then that Red Dead Redemption 2 was being made for Switch and quote-unquote Switch Pro. He's still waiting. What are you guys thinking about that one? Do you think, this guy's pretty reputable. He doesn't just blow smoke that much, He does all right. Luis, how would you feel about a Red Dead on Switch?
Whatever. Why would I care?
He's like, whatever. No, I don't care. I have Red Dead Redemption 2 already. But, all right. Well, I'll give you this. When it comes to moving the game to Switch at all, they're going to lose a lot of textures. Just period. They're going to lose a lot of textures, and it's going to look like it was made.
You mean texture resolution or
no?
They're lose a lot.
They're gonna lose some straight up texture.
That game is fat, dude. That game is fat.
They're gonna look more. They're gonna look more blocky.
You're not gonna see those things. They're gonna have to replace it with something.
Yeah, I know. They're gonna replace it with blank slates of textures that look remotely like the color.
Look, Luis,
resolution. I'm not going to bust the Dalan here and go back and forth for 10 minutes. So
I do. Well, look, I will say this, Luis. It's a little semantic-y because Dalan doesn't know the differences, but I like
the difference between texture and resolution. Yes, I know the difference.
Apparently not.
Apparently not, Dalan. But yeah, it's kind of interesting, right? Red Dead Redemption 2. If it comes to it, sure, they'll make some more cash, but I played it and it was beautiful, and we were actually just playing it yesterday, right, Luis, where it was like, this game looks kind of incredible for a PS4 game. And look, let's be honest, the Switch is like 2.5 Wii's duct taped together, so it's not gonna run. It's not gonna run Red Dead Redemption how we want it. They're definitely gonna lose a lot of textures. There you go, Dalan. I got you. So that was one of the big stories. So we'll look forward to that. Look, they could get me with trophies, so if they got trophies and they clean it up a little bit, I'm very much down. Nintendo did have an indie presentation. I don't know. I pointed out 3 different things that I saw from the presentation. Otherwise, it's always these indies with the interesting artwork, and I'm like, I don't want it. But they did open with what they call Bomb Rush Cyberfunk, and I've been following this game a little bit because it's basically Jet Grand Radio, and they showed the trailer of it. It was the first thing they showed at this indie presentation, and it's a straight up rip off of Jet Grand Radio, and I think I'm okay. And I think I'm okay with that. It dropped. They've been working on this thing for like years, man, like 5 or 6 years or whatever. So they finally said 2022 it should be coming out. It's a Switch timed exclusive, so that means it'll be on other systems. And I was thinking, it's like, oh damn, I'm gonna have to buy it on the Switch. No trophies, no nothing. But then I find out that the timed exclusive is a week time exclusive. I'm like, I'm just going to wait. I'm just not going to mess with it.
You're not going to buy it day one.
A week time exclusive. How dare they? How dare they call that a timed exclusive? Dalan, you checked it out, right? What'd you think of the of that
I
game.
did check out the trailer, and it actually made me think of Crazy Taxi while I was watching it. But I was seeing how I want to say open world it is, because it looked like there was a lot of space in this game, but it also looks like they didn't put a lot of textures in it. I feel like they left out a lot of. It's like they left a lot of open space.
I'll tell you
like,
this, Dalan. You never played Jet Grind Radio because apparently you never had a Dreamcast.
Hey, you had me play Jet Grind Radio, so I have played Jet Grind Radio.
Yeah,
but I didn't play for long. I went through like 3 or 4 levels, and it was pretty fun. But those controls were very wonky.
That's because you were supposed to play it back on the Dreamcast, and apparently you didn't have a Dreamcast.
Whatevs. But either way, I'm still. I'm hoping that they did fix some of those mechanics, but it looks like you're really going around grinding on stuff, running away from cops, and putting spray paint on walls. So look, you were straight up.
It looks straight up. I know you didn't play Jet Grind Radio because that game has sort of the same feel of like, oh, it's a big open world. It's not that big, dude. It's stages. It looks nice though. It looks beautiful. And the cool thing about this game, I believe, I hope they're not working on a different one, but I think it has the same composer as Jet Grind Radio. So I'm super hyped because that soundtrack. I still pop it on. Luis, you can help me out on here. I just linked the chat to Jet Grind Radio like probably earlier today to one of the tracks. So I'm looking forward to it. I don't think the gameplay holds up as well as we think. And I love Jet Grind Radio, man. As long as they don't put the camera and the tagging on the same trigger, it should be okay. It should be fine. It looks all right. We'll see what they do. Obviously, Sega does not give a fuck to do anything with that license. So Sega better not come out and say, we're going to sue you or cease and desist, because it's like you guys were not doing crap with this license. So let them do it. The other one is Tetris Effect Connected. Is coming onto the Switch October 8th. That would be kind of nice. That would be kind of nice having it portable and be able to kind of connect to a hotspot or connect to your internet on your phone or something like that. Because that's a nice game. It's a pretty nice game. It'd be nice to have it with us. What do you think, Dalan?
Having Tetris Effect on the go, that would be nice to be able to play that with other people online. And I believe you played that a lot with your brother and essentially by yourself as well. But for myself, I still haven't had a chance to play it because I kept saying, let's play it. And you stopped playing it suddenly. I still got it.
I'm always
gotta try it.
Look. This is gonna be controversial. I don't know if we've said it on the podcast, but Planet Puzzle League is better than Tetris.
Oh, there's no question.
I know it's controversial, but we know, Dalan, that Tetris is one of the best games of all time. And Planet Puzzle League is better. That's how good Planet Puzzle League is, dude. But anyways, yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a nice game. It runs super smooth. It's not like Tetris Splash bullcrap on Xbox 360 where can this load, please? Why is it glitching? It's Tetris. So this game plays smooth. It has the classic attack modes, and it has the new the effect mode, or I don't know if they call it effect mode or whatever. So I think I'll most likely pick it up on the Switch, man. I know I already have it on every other system, but I'll probably pick it up again. Planet Puzzle League is still better. The other quick thing that they threw on there was a Loop Hero. That was kind of a big roguelike game that came out on PC. It should be coming out for the Switch on a holiday 2021. So that one, that one should be interesting, I guess. Maybe I'll finally check it out. I know our friend Jeremy, he hasn't been on the podcast for a while, but he was kind of big on it, so we'll see how it does on the Switch.
He's on the Discord now. He's actually playing Back 4 Blood.
Oh, I was out there playing it with him too, so we're going to talk about that a little later.
I hope there's some friendly fire in that, because I will shoot somebody in that.
There actually is, and I don't like it.
Oh, snap.
Oh, we're going to find out. Dalan, what was your top story this past week?
This top story this past week, and just this week in general, being that Destiny 2. We haven't talked about Destiny in quite some time. We generally have been staying away from Destiny because we're like, we just haven't been playing it. But again, with this update coming, I might just go back because we got people on multiple different platforms, but they're finally bringing crossplay to Destiny 2 with their upcoming season that's going to be dropping here on August 24th called Season of the Splicer. So they made a couple of updates and more information came out about it, which is why I wanted to actually bring it up today. One of those things being that they are now going to be combining the friends list from multiple platforms, and you can actually switch the filter so it just shows PS4 friends, PS5 friends, Xbox friends, whatever it is. So they're going to be making a filter for that.
Because we know that's BS, right? Anytime they've ever switched to like Call of Duty, like to now you have Activision friends, now you have Rocket League friends. They always it was better before. Why? What did you guys do? So I hope.
Why are you changing? They didn't take it away.
So I hope the filters. I hope the filters help with that. What else is going on, Dalan?
Another thing a thing that they announced when they said it is that they're not going to have any type of cross voice chat with it quite yet, because they're still working on it. But you're just going to have to like use Discord or something. Hopefully, everybody has Discord or something like that. But the biggest thing to me in this whole idea, and I actually have another one in my head, but they're going to have new unique IDs consisting of a Bungie name, a display name, and a hashtag with a series of numbers after it. Much like Discord or Steam, like when you're trying to find your friends and stuff like that. But
annoying, but I know what you're referring to.
Oh, even more annoying is that for a lot of people, they're going to be removing special characters so you can't have exclamation marks or and signs or even equal signs in some cases. Inappropriate names will be modified by Bungie. So if you have a name that they don't deem appropriate to be online, they will change your name or remove it altogether. And you may just have numbers. So if your name is inappropriate and you know it's inappropriate, go change it before the update comes out, because they're not going to.
They're going to tell you your name is. They got to tell you your name is now binary.
Yeah, it's just going to be stuck with it until you have name change back. The only real concern that I have that I didn't actually get a chance to research yet was whether or not with this combination of characters, I mean, there are a lot of people that had Destiny on one system and then started it on another system to play with other friends. So I'm wondering what's going to happen with those other characters, because what if you have like 6 characters because you made like 3 characters on one system and 3 characters on another? Are they just going to start getting rid of characters? Are they going to make you choose between what 3 characters you have? Are you going to have to pay for extra characters?
Yeah, just stick to the one character and you're screwed, man. I'm gonna give you the answer. You're
just stick to the one character.
Yeah, what are you doing creating? What are you doing creating multiple characters? Luis, this is kind of a thing you were waiting for, right? I believe, like having that full crossplay to play with that.
Hell yeah, that's all I need to get into Destiny, man.
Hey man, we got that crossplay. What were you playing on? You were playing on Xbox or PC?
You asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you. Who else am I talking to?
Well, there's another person in the room.
I know there's multiple people.
I know what Carlos is playing.
Also, you did point to Carlos. I saw this.
Okay. Yeah, come on.
All right, I'll point down.
PC, yes, but I'm assuming, to answer your question, I would assume it's something similar to Rocket League. When you merged your accounts, it asks you, okay, which one do you want to be the master account? So they'll probably wipe all your other characters.
Yeah.
Damn.
I like it. I like it. Yeah, you're screwed. Yeah, I like it. They will make a decision.
Before you wipe your character, make sure you pass all your good equipment.
Look, Bungie is usually pretty good, man. They've been pretty good about
merge it.
They might merge it. They've been pretty good about like listening to the fans. You know, they're for the gamers. They're for the players. So we'll see what we do. But August 24th, we'll do a little crossplay. What was the?
And I'm gonna install it before that.
What was your big news for the past week, Luis?
So this one actually, when I read the headline, I didn't realize this is actually what it was. I thought it was. So let me read the headline first. Amazon drops policy that claimed ownership of employees' games. So what I thought that meant was employees' games like purchased through Amazon services or Steam or whatever. They're like, okay, we just own a license to that copy you bought. But it's actually...
Yeah, it's worse than that.
Yeah, it's actually worse than that. So when an employee joins Amazon Game Studios, they sign a contract, and similar to one that I've signed, but I guess in theirs, there's a stipulation that says any games that you work on in the off hours, we own the rights to. So
meaning on your own time, completely separate from whatever you're working on at Amazon. That's wild, dude.
So the interesting thing to me about this is that I've signed many contracts like this, and it always says, by the way, if you have any projects that you've worked on before that you're currently working on, write them here so that you can retain the rights to this property. Otherwise, anything you work on while you're working with us, we can claim the rights to. So you just write down a bunch. So usually what I do is I write down things that I've worked on and then just a bunch of random sort of code names for things that I could say that's what it was, even though it's not an actual project.
Should you be putting that out into the ether? Are you gonna cut this later?
No, it's fine.
All right.
They don't know.
Luis,
Hey, you haven't signed that Pru NDA though.
I have not.
Now I got a better question for you,
Hey.
Luis. How many personal games are you in the process of making right now that we don't know about?
It's not necessarily games. It's just like plugins or stuff that I've been writing or messing around with that may turn into
Like
something that I
tools,
could
like
sell
tools
later.
and stuff like that.
Yeah, stuff
Okay.
like
You got those kits
What's
that you're ready to
so
put
as
games
far as
together
this
with.
so as far as this Amazon thing? Okay, what's the
Yeah.
rub here?
So on top of them owning the rights to it, they also require them to use Amazon products and or services. So something like Amazon Web Services, AWS, they're also required to be to sell those games on the Amazon Game Services. And they also, this is a really weird phrasing, which basically covers all grounds, but Amazon would have a quote, royalty-free, worldwide, fully paid up, perpetual, transferable license.
That's everything.
And
we own.
yeah.
We
That's
own your ass.
everything.
Yeah.
We own the
So
royalties. We own all the worldwide
this
sales.
is no longer the case anymore, though. And the VP of Amazon Games, Mike Frazzini, explained in an email he sent out to employees earlier this week. It says, quote, these policies were originally put in place over a decade ago when we had a lot less information and experience than we do today. And as a result, the policies were written quite broadly. So they've removed all these policies and stipulations from the contracts now. But
Okay.
it's just so weird to me that a game studio, because I've signed contracts like this at a visual effects studio, and they're like, what projects are you working on? Write them down. So
Now
the fact that
is
anyone
it
accepted this is
now
crazy.
now is it one of those things that they're kind of they're in their quote unquote right because they can say, well, you used our tools to work on whatever you were working on or whatever it is. Is that kind of what it is? Or I mean, they could make the case that you're like, you were on work time. You were honest. You were really on work time. And
Yeah,
some of it,
it's mostly
you know.
just to kind of cover their bases in a way.
Yeah.
At a lot of studios, especially when we were going into a studio to work in there, everything's locked up. So everything's behind a VPN. You can't put a flash drive,
USB
hard
drive or
drive
whatever.
in your computer. Like it just doesn't detect it. All files that go in and out of the company have to go through like a separate entity and they check every single file and bring it in and out. So there's all these systems in place to make sure that you're not taking property from the company. So I really never really understood those contracts.
Because they're doing everything possible, right, to kind of
Yeah.
already limit exposure or whatever it is. So it's like, well, how could I have worked on my own thing? It's not not possible. Yeah, dude, Amazon, they got a lot to learn. I mean, they're over here crashing people's computers on the main menu because it's running at 9,000 frames. So we hope they get.
They're just out there trying to figure it out.
They're just trying to figure it out, but we'll see. So I guess it's a good thing that they came out and was like, oh, hold on, we might have pushed it a little far. So at least they're kind of learning, right? I suppose. Dalan, anything else before we move on from this one?
I think I said my piece.
Oh, okay. Damn, that's a little surprising. So we'll move on to the quick hits for the week. Real quick up top, Back for Blood goes gold, and I did like a quote from Colin Moriarty. He said, "Going gold during a beta." Now it does seem a little weird. At least I don't know if you would know a little bit, but is it weird that the game would go gold during beta? It's like at that point you've done all your betas and you've done all your testing before you stamp it on a disc, right? Or no? Or it doesn't seem that weird to you?
Yeah, I mean, it is definitely not common, but I wouldn't necessarily get too sketched out about this. It's like
Okay.
this is, yeah, most games go into an alpha beta phase and then like months later, when they went to a public beta, they're like, okay, now we're ready to release the game.
And
But
it might be like good enough for them to stamp on a disc or something, right? Like for release. But this is one of those games that I'm sure it's gonna live for a while, right? They're gonna continuously update. I'm sure day one, there's a patch
There's
for
gonna
this.
be a
Well,
patch
yeah, there
day
probably
one.
already is a patch set up right now. Yeah, I think betas for the most part, I feel are more for like testing out the networking, testing out the limits of the servers and that kind of stuff. So if they kind of went into this beta phase and felt everything was working fine, then
Yeah.
maybe that's all they needed.
All
You
right.
know?
Hey, I like that one. So there's another thing. There's been a couple leaks, and I believe we talked about it before, but the next Call of Duty, we know the name. We're aware of it. It's called Call of Duty Vanguard, but now we know a little bit more. It should be revealed August 19th for a possible November 5th release, which all this kind of checks out. As far as the reveals, I'm not exactly sure. I don't remember kind of the time frame of when they do the reveals, but November-ish is pretty much when a Call of Duty comes out. That kind of checks out.
Right.
They found this information and they uncovered some game files on the latest Black Ops Cold War Season 5 update. And Vanguard is supposed to be set in the World War II Pacific Theater, so they're kind of revisiting some ground there. We've been there before, but I'm excited to hit the next gen version of that. As far as multiplayer is concerned, there's gonna be some remastered maps from Call of Duty World at War, so they're really dipping into their back catalog here.
They got their repertoire. They're going into their war chest.
Exactly. They're like, let's go back. What is that game? World of War. Yeah, we did that in 2007. Let's bring it back. And Treyarch is
that game though.
it was an okay game. That's definitely one of the lesser Call of Duty games, I would say, but it was all right. It is,
but
I'm
it was
sorry.
Co-op.
Maybe was it? Okay, maybe
It was
okay.
co-op,
Okay,
yeah.
Nice. Okay, that makes it all better. Then that makes it one of the better Call of Duties if you play it in co-op. So Treyarch is assisting with the development. There's going to be 3 forms when it releases. The standard edition, of course, the cross-gen bundle. So they're doing that crap again. And Ultimate Edition.
He said that crap again.
Yeah,
He's
because
on the hate for that cross bundle.
dude, just give us the free upgrade or whatever. What didn't they do that for Cold War? I think, or no, they did this thing again. I think they probably
Cold
did
War
it.
you had to pay for the upgrade.
Such crap, dude. But anyways, there's a cross-gen bundle there. You'll just expect that. But I would think you would have moved on, right? If you're on PS5 or PS4 or what. But you know, I do get stuck in these situations sometimes where I still have my PlayStation 4 in my bedroom, right? And sometimes I'm like, maybe I want the PS4 edition so I can go back and forth like that, you know, and play the PS5 when I can. Luis, what are your thoughts on this on Call of Duty Vanguard?
As long as you're not out here like Dalan being like, well, no, I got that game installed on my PS4, but I got this one on my PS5, so I got to go upstairs. I got to go downstairs. Because...
Hey, man, it takes up too much space. That's it. It takes up too much space. They need to do something about this space. Man, they're over here talking about you can install the campaign by yourself, or you cannot install the campaign. You can install.
There is a lot of nonsense happening,
or you don't have to do. It's way too much.
There's a lot of crap happening.
They could have just made multiple games
to come out of beta, and then you're good. You could get an SSD.
But it went gold, so it's fine. But it went gold.
As far as the story, World at War was actually one of my favorite Call of Duties. So saying one of the lessers, that kind of hurt my feelings.
Yeah, I mean, like, that was a good game. You got dogs coming after you for the first time in my life.
You can be hurt all you want. I mean, it was one of the lesser ones. I mean,
hey man, I felt the tension in the story in that game. Everything after World War, I was like, I'm not following the story at all.
It was cool in the sense that it was cool in the sense that it was definitely a different vibe to it versus the kind of mainline games at that point, right? Now they're all kind of like, they kind of all blend together now, I feel like, in the last few years.
Well, I guess the big distinction for me was that I think that was the
and they had zombie, that they introduced zombie mode at that
was
one
the
too.
Zombies, yeah. But it was the first Call of Duty, I think, if I'm not mistaken, and possibly only still to this day. Oh no, now Modern Warfare does it, kind of. Where, you know, if you like threw a grenade at someone and it blew up at their legs or at their feet, it would blow off their legs. Like you would actually see.
Yeah, I do remember that being graphic. Yeah, I remember that game being
graphic.
And then everyone was like, "Hey, maybe you chill out." And the very next one was just like people would just fall down.
And then the little quotes would come up if you died, right? And it's like peace will never be achieved with war or whatever. I don't know, some nonsense. But yeah, you know what? I like when they go back to it. They did World War II. I like that. I understand that it's like they're kind of retreading, right? Like they're going back to old material, but nicer graphics, nicer sound. I'm kind of okay with it. I know some people. I don't know if I've seen too much hate about it though. But I mean, it hasn't been revealed, right? Once it's revealed, once we really know more details about it, we should be good. The next one,
feedback controllers. That's all you need.
Though that was pretty nice, man. Even though you gotta turn that crap off if you're playing in multiplayer, though. That's distracting, man. I'm already not that great at multiplayer, and then the triggers are like fighting me.
Stiffness.
I don't like that. The next one, and I like it, Luis, because because we talked about this before, but we were like, okay, let's focus the podcast. Let's just not talk movies. But no, sir. This is very related to video games. Idris Elba is Knuckles. That's the tweet. But real quick, besides that being the tweet, Stringer Bell is Knuckles. If you guys don't know, Stringer Bell's from The Wire. He's one of the greatest characters of all time. Stringer Bell is Knuckles, Dalan. What do you think, man? You're not a Wire fan. I don't even think you've ever seen The Wire. Have you seen The Wire?
I did watch The Wire, but I think I watched more Luther than I did The Wire. So you got Luther being Knuckles.
Okay. No, Luther's good too.
Yeah, Luther, you got the bad guy from Fast 8 or whatever that was. He's being Knuckles. I mean, Idris Elba's just all over the place. He's an excellent actor, and I'm just happy to know that his beautiful voice is gonna be Knuckles. I mean, he won't be James Bond, but at least he'll get to be a nice role too.
See, that was it, Luis. That was it, man. Stringer Bell as Knuckles. It's gonna be beautiful. But you did eventually watch that movie, right? It was better than it needed to be. Than it deserved to be. That was a decent flick.
Which movie?
Sonic the Hedgehog, the original one. So we'll see what they do with the sequel. Sometimes the original, right, like the first movie that didn't have
sometimes they drop the ball.
Sometimes they drop the ball, but we'll see. I'm sort of kind of okay with it.
I believe it.
I believe in it. I'll give them a chance. Also,
hey man, I'm ready for Tails to show up. Miles is gonna be in it.
Also, it turns out Dora the Explorer. Watch that. That's pretty damn good too.
God.
I mean it's good. Like,
it ain't got nothing to do with video games. You're just throwing in a childhood cartoon character.
I'm throwing out there like movies that are better than they deserve to be. That's Dora the Explorer. So the other one, Dalan, this one's got you hyped, I think, or you tell me how hyped you are about it. Maybe you're just reasonably hyped about it. Tales of Arise demo is coming out August 18th. Are you gonna mess with it, man, or what's got you hyped about it?
It's got me hyped that I get to play it. That's the end of it. I thought your question was going to be, are you getting this demo? And my emphatic answer is yes. That's it.
That's a good answer.
Don't get mad.
That's a good answer. The other thing, so that's there's gonna be a demo for that for you guys out there if you guys like your RPG. It's like an action RPG though, right? Pretty much an action
yes,
RPG.
That's exactly. Well, the way they geared the new the Tales series is it's a very active battle system, so it feels very actiony, but it's still an RPG. When you go to your menu or want to throw an item, the screen still freezes entirely, and it's still a one-player game, even though you have a team of 4 people. It's
just
still
a bunch of knuckleheads, they're just hanging around. They're just coming along for the ride.
You obviously don't know what Tales is calling them knuckleheads. Yes, they could be a little awkward, but none of them are knuckleheads. Not like Resident Evil 5, where, Sheva's wasting all of your bullets in like 5 minutes. No, the characters in the Tales series actually know what they're doing most of the time.
That's the tweet. The next thing is that apparently docking the Steam Deck will not improve its performance. This is according to a Valve developer. He did an interview. Oh man, I didn't put the source here. He did an interview with someone. It could have been IGN. They asked him, had Valve considered giving it a higher power mode when docked, similar to the Switch, how it boosts the power a little bit just by the fact that it's docked and it's on the TV. So this was, it looks a little cleaner. It's not like an incredible upgrade. Most of it is resolution, right? The textures. But so the Valve designer. So Valve designer Greg Coomer, he said, yes, but we didn't choose to make it a really high priority design target. We felt that it was actually better, all things considered, to not modify based on dock status or mobile status. That just feels a little lazy to me, man. It should give you a little boost of power if you're docking it. That's my thoughts on it. Luis, what are your thoughts on this, man? That it doesn't give you a little more boost in power when you dock it.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the other side of the coin on that with you. Like, to me, if I'm buying a Steam Deck, I expect it be all in one sort of portable PC. If I'm going to dock my Steam Deck to then play it on a screen, I might as well just use my PC. So that to me just kind of makes sense. Like that, yeah, I'm not too mad about that, honestly.
And it's supposed to run everything, right? But they did say that, and it's all going back to the textures, Dalan. It's all resolution because they've actually said that when you dock it and you're kind of putting it on a 55-inch, 60-inch. People got like humongous TVs nowadays. The games might struggle because now you're pushing a higher resolution. So they did. I think that's one of the things that people are concerned about, right? Like, what if I want to put it on my TV? But if you're buying it to be a portable, right? Like it's a portable, and it should run smooth because the game it should be able to run everything based on the fact that it's pushing for 720p or 720 on the actual handheld itself, right? So, Dalan, what are your thoughts on this, man?
Real quick, I want to confront one thing that I think I realized. You were talking about the resolution of the textures itself. Is that right?
That is correct. Your
Okay,
Honor.
see, that's the thing I didn't understand you were saying at the time. I was just talking about replacing the texture altogether and replacing it with a low polygon thing. But you're just talking about just reducing the resolution of the texture that's already in place. All right, so
correct.
That's fair, Dalan. I do like it. I do like that you went back to correct yourself, but you didn't say it like that at all.
It was kind of brought up right now. All right, because you brought it up, Carlos. Thank you very much. By the way,
we don't let nothing die. We don't let nothing die.
I don't let nothing die. Just like you talk about this quote because you didn't reference who it was by. Good job sourcing, but it was in an interview with PC Gamer. But anyways,
continue, Dalan. What's going on here?
Yeah, hey PC. I'm gonna come back to everything. I'm gonna talk about how you need to get your chickens in order. Everything. All right,
hey, get the quote right at least.
Right. I don't know the quote. What's the quote?
Take care of your chicken. Take care of your mentals. Take care of your bread. You feel me, though? Dalan, what's going on with this Steam Deck, man? And the dock and the whatevers and the taking off the graphics and the textures?
Well, for me, it's more about resolution if I am going to put it on the TV. I mean, if it holds the same amount of power and resolution on the smaller screen that it would if I did put it on my big TV, I just want it to be able to have the capability to actually transfer the visuals properly to the TV. I know that for the Switch, when you dock it, I do believe that it either upgrades or downgrades.
Yeah, so it goes like, so let's say, I'm not exactly sure, but for an example, like if something runs at 720 on the Switch, because that's probably what the screen can handle, right? When you put it to your TV, it can run at 1080. And the dock, the fact that it's docked, and it might be like a power thing. Maybe you can correct me on this, Lise, but maybe it's a power thing. The fact that a higher resolution, when you plug it into the source or whatever it is, gives you more juice to be able to push 1080. But anyways, they already saying that that's not what's gonna happen, man. If you expect to dock the Steam Deck and run the game at the same like quality that you're running it portably, it's not going to happen. It's not going to run it better. They've already said that the performance will probably take a hit if you shoot it.
Yeah, I was going to say, but is it going to run it worse?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I said I was about to say that. That's what I was going to say, but you said that and you said, Carlos, move on.
All right. Well, hey, the Steam Deck that's gonna drop. It's kind of hard to get those pre-orders, man. I do sort of, I did like sort of their system that they're kind of doing the Apple system, I believe. Like you put your order in and eventually you'll get it. But I don't know. Some of these were being pushed to like the end of 2022, man. I'm at that point. If I really want them, like just pay an extra $100 to scalp it or something. But that thing was getting pushed out hard to very much into the next year. The other thing here is Hideo Kojima is worried about a future without physical media. He had a couple of quotes that he said. He said, I think this was on Twitter that he said this. He said, whenever there is a major change or accident in the world, in a country, in a government, in an idea, in a trend, access to it may be suddenly be cut off. We will not be able to freely access the movies, books, and music that we have loved. So he's in referencing, of course, to like this new digital era, right, where you kind of have to be connected to the internet for it to do checks that you actually own the data. I'm more of a physical media type of person. I don't necessarily get into all this stuff because I feel like, I think the internet's here to stay, but he does make some fair points, right, where it's kind of like something can happen and it's kind of like what do they call it, like the end of the world scenario, right, is kind of what he's referencing, right? Because like the likelihood that you'll lose access to your digital media is a little far out there, but I feel him in the way that it's like I will always go physical media if I can, unless I don't have any other option. Luis, what are your thoughts on the quote, on Hideo's quotes here?
Yeah, I mean it does bring up an interesting point. I'm honestly not super concerned with it. I do think like you're saying, the internet's here to stay. I don't think there's ever going to be a scenario where we just like access is cut off indefinitely to these things. You know, it might, if there's some sort of, you know, natural disaster or something, and yeah, maybe some servers get knocked out or something for a little bit, but yeah, I don't know. The same could be said for if there's a flood. You know, we lose all the books in a library. Like, what's the difference there, right?
That's done. They're gone. No
Yeah.
more Harry Potter, Dalan. What do you think, Dalan?
No more Harry Potter. The Master Collection is destroyed, so all subsequent books that are connected to it are destroyed as well. No,
I like how you took it there. But what do you think about this, though?
Well, what I think about this is I don't have as deep of a fear as Hideo Kojima on this. I know we have actually talked about it before when we talked about PlayStation 4 going more digital versus physical discs, because we do prefer the physical disc. We have grown up with having these physical attributes around us. Like, I don't want to look at a sword on my TV screen. I want to have an actual fucking sword. So
Drop the F word.
I will do that.
Word on that.
Sorry, excuse my French.
We've been Frenching out here for like the whole episode.
Phrasing.
It is very phrasing. Don't take it to that level. Go ahead, Dalan.
But when it comes to having all of this digital, anything digital, I do have my fear that at some point, maybe I do have a power outage or a fire happens down the hill and I may not get power back properly for a couple of days, or my cable internet goes out, or maybe my service
this is kind of real. This is kind of real for you, though, being up in the mountains, as we say on the intro every week, up in the mountains.
This has happened to me, being that my service provider went out for a good week. I won't name service provider. I probably have said it before.
Why not?
I'm not going to dive them out right now.
I mean, hit them up right here, Dalan. It's a public forum.
Everyone knows Spectrum.
Spectrum. People know Spectrum. If you can avoid it, you avoid it.
What was your bane, Carlos? Was it Frontier?
Frontier, dude. Fucking Frontier, man. And I have them now. I have no other option, dude. I'm over here stuck with these assholes. If you guys are listening, where are you? Where are they? Which camera sees me right now?
Right there.
Which camera's looking at me right now? Yeah, Frontier, you guys are whack. Except your fucking game up. All right, Dalan. But yes, this is a concern.
My point being is that I have actually done this thing where I used to burn CDs with all my stuff on it in case my service went out, because I wanted to make sure I owned or still had that stuff available to me. That way, when that service is gone, I still have something to be able to watch it.
So that's a personal backup you're talking about. You're not talking about...
It's the same thing for all these physical games. No, I'm not talking about illegal downloads. I'm actually talking about personal backups. Like, I'll own copies of the disc. I will go out of my way to buy Blu-rays of certain things. Like, I got a copy of Tron Legacy. I know people hated Tron Legacy.
But so Dalan, you do like, for you, it's real because you have these acute cases where it has happened where you don't have access to electricals or whatever, your chicken or your bread or your Mentos. You don't have access to this. So to you, it's real, but you do know it's coming back, right? Like, you will have access eventually.
Now, eventually, but for that period, I still want to have access to it. And, people can go crazy in the silence of their own head.
In like 2 hours, Dalan, take a nap.
Hey, no, more like a good week, and you don't have nobody to talk to if you're stuck somewhere or you ain't got nothing to do. People are used to being able to always have something tangible.
Couple the snow on the driveway, Dalan. Come on.
Come on,
hey, man, I'm saying, like, if you suddenly couldn't use your phone anymore, how long would it take you to be upset at the phone company?
That's happened to me before.
It does happen.
But if you couldn't use it for a good week.
A week for sure.
Yeah, it'd be a little upsetting.
I'd be frustrated at the company. I'd find things to do.
So we all kind of agree, like, Kojima has a point, but I still feel like the likelihood of this disaster scenario, end of the world scenario, it's unlikely. But I like it because he thinks like this. He thinks outside of the box like this.
Hey, this is why we have Metal Gear, but the more we go towards specifically digital stuff, the more we get too comfortable with the amenities that we have.
I mean, look, the way digital downloads has kind of opened up gaming in a way as well, right? Because the only option you had before was to pay that ransom cash to Nintendo to print out these cartridges, and you had to print out a certain amount, or Nintendo would be like, "No, we're not making your game. We need 60,000 N64 cartridges to be printed." So there are definitely benefits to the digital age, right? The fact that Luis can make a game. I'll write it for you. Don't even trip, please. Don't even trip. Just a little tiny royalty. But look, there is benefits to the digital age, right? It kind of democratizes gaming in a way, right? That you can have all these little indies with an interesting art style that I'm tired of. Stop it. Do something else. But they're available, and all these roguelikes have proliferated because of this crap too. So whatever, though. What I'm saying is, you don't need anyone's permission. You can build your own game and you can publish it. Whereas physical medium, you still have sort of a pipeline that you have to go through retailers, through the manufacturers. So it's kind of like there's the pros and cons to it, right? And for me, I will always go physical when available. Digital otherwise, right? Kojima, you're making a good point, man. We're waiting for that next game where the whole internet shuts down, called Death Stranding Director's Cut.
Hey man, he's gonna make a game about a fire sale. Watch, he's gonna make the next what was the name of that movie? Die Hard. He's gonna make the next Die Hard video game.
He might. I'm down. So we'll move on to what you've been playing here. At least I don't have nothing for you right now unless you type it in there. So at least it's good. He didn't play too much. He's been working. He's been making the games you guys are over here complaining about on Twitter. All right. This is what this guy's been up to.
He's been making his bread. That's what he's been doing.
All right, Dalan. So what have you been playing? You played some more Plague Tale, right? Is that it?
Yeah, I actually had a chance to go back to Plague Tale. When I was first playing Plague Tale Innocence, because the new one's coming out, I can't remember the name of the new one right now. But when I first played Innocence, at first I was like, man, I feel like this game is kind of clunky, like the way that they were moving and how stiff some of the characters actually felt to me at first. But then right after I get past the beginning and then all the stuff starts popping off, suddenly the game gets significantly better and everything is creepy. They do it in such a way that you can still make it through it, but it's still creepy enough that you don't want to go through it necessarily. And then there are parts where there's a point where she just gives up.
Spoilers.
All right, fine.
No spoilers.
Fine. I was about to spoil one moment, but I won't do it. But the game got very action-packed, and I'm very much enjoying it. And then obviously there's plenty of stealth moments.
And it's not horror. It's not horror game necessarily, right? Like it's not super.
It's not
scary.
specifically a horror game, but there's so much horror aspect to it with the plague of the rats and the way that they created these rats that it can be a very intense game.
It's more like a thriller, I guess, sort of. More Resident Evil 2 than 7 or something. It's a little action. It's a nice action.
Okay, I mean, I'll give you.
You did play another.
Whatever.
You did play that. We did tease it a little bit earlier, but you did get to try out the hot beta of Back for Blood, right? And we're gonna play it after this.
Beta's still up the whole weekend.
Okay. Go ahead and play that, you guys, if you to check.
Hey, load it up. Hit us up. We could try and play it. I don't know, Carlos. Are you gonna buy Back for Blood?
I've always liked like the Left 4 Dead games. I really enjoyed those. I did buy those. I want to check out the beta. I'm very, very interested in this. So definitely I'll try it out. So I'm not sure.
Okay, I can't say I've never. I have only played Left 4 Dead once, a long time ago. Like it was part 1 and it was just coming out. I played it on PC at NetZone. It was the internet cafe we had in our area. It was the only time I ever really played it. We did like 3 matches and then I never played the game again. So the only memory I have of Left 4 Dead is trying to run
based on that. Does this remind you of that a little bit?
Hey, just like the Cyberpunk game that we talked about earlier, this is a cut for cut of Left 4 Dead. They just straight up took the game, updated it, and said we're gonna rename it.
Yeah, and I think some of
even the logo looks like Left 4 Dead.
Oh, dude! I mean, look, you got the Back 4 Blood, and the 4 is a numerical 4, so obviously, and I think some of the ex-developers from that like actually worked on it. I think a lot of them worked on it.
They did a great job of bringing it back. They added a bunch of weapons, a bunch of customizations you can have for your guns. The only actual problem that I had with the game is when you're trying to join other people, even though it's crossplay. It is crossplay because I tried that already. But we were trying to load up the crossplay, and I was trying to join Jeremy Lowe's team. He's one of the people that we've had here on our podcast a couple of times. But I tried to join Jeremy Lowe's team, and it took like 5 minutes. My screen was just there, and it was not low. You can see the dots. In the,
so matchmaking not so great. Yet,
no, it's not the matchmaking that's an issue. It's the joining your friends.
Okay, so crossplay needs some work, but the actual gameplay is pretty nice.
Yeah, the actual gameplay was smooth. It was actually really fun. Plenty of zombies, just like how you could set off the zombies to send hordes at you in Left 4 Dead. You could set up zombies in Back 4 Blood, and you just walk into a small pile of birds that you scared off, and suddenly zombies know that you're there. I mean, that's fine.
And it's up to 4 players, right? It's up to 4 players.
It is up to 4 players.
Okay. I'm pretty hyped about it.
Told you, just 1-to-1. It is the same game, new name update.
I'm very hyped for it, man. Look, I'm gonna talk about my game real quick, then, and then we'll come back to the one we've been playing that I'm hyped about continuing to play. But I'm
gonna stop you simply because I feel like actually incorporating the question of this, Luis. I haven't heard from you. Did you play Left 4 Dead, or did you want to play Back 4 Blood?
I didn't put it in my what you been playing, Dalan?
Come on,
Dalan,
I know that wasn't the question.
Come on, Dalan, what's going on?
That was my answer.
Yeah, he's gonna. Oh, we're gonna. Hey, we every so often it's like, Luis, just jump on, man. It's not even like a question. Actually, I'll talk to you guys, or I'll call you guys randomly. It's like, you getting on this? It's not even a question. It's like, are you jumping on right now? But look,
that is a question.
Look,
I'm
pretty.
Literally the definition of a question.
So I'm pretty hyped about Psychonauts 2 that's coming out. It's gonna be on Game Pass. Dude, Game Pass, it's like the best deal in gaming, like for real. But Psychonauts 2 is coming out day 1 on Game Pass. It's gonna be available. So and also it's available. It's the first one is available on Game Pass, I believe. I think that's how I'm playing it. I'm playing the original. And like I was mentioning earlier, it's nice and cleaned up. It's still the gameplay is a little kind of old timey, but you do get used to it. It feels smooth enough. The graphics are cleaned up. But it's really funny to see like the cutscenes versus the in-game graphics. Like the in-game graphics actually look better than the cutscenes, because the cutscenes they go back to that 4.3 edition. It looks blurry. It looks like, I was like, oh damn, how do the in-game graphics look better? And that's because the engine, right? Like the optimization of how the Xbox One runs it. It's the X Series X, but I feel like if you played it on the Xbox One, it should be nice, like Xbox One S. But it's pretty nice. I do like it. It's really trippy. It's very Tim Schafer-ish. It's very Double Fine-ish, right? But one of the funny things is, like, and I remember I was like, there was a time when Jet Grind Radio influenced a lot of these games. There's grinds in these. It's kind of like the art style is a little funky or whatever. It's like, oh, that's right. Jet Grind Radio had definitely a legacy of, we're still like influencing these games. There's all these grinds and all these different things. It's a fun enough game. I think definitely what's keeping me playing it is mostly like the story. The story is kind of a fun little campground story where you're earning badges, and the dialogue still holds up for the most part. So I'm having fun with it. I can't wait to play the second one now. I never did play the Psychonauts 1, so this is my first time going through it. I'm super hyped for the second one, and I can't wait to see what they do with the graphics and the controls and everything else, man. But
hey, man, I'm ready for it, because that claymation makes me think of the other game that we talked about in one of our previous podcasts, where they decided to make it a card-based game, and that was kind of upsetting.
Yeah, it's very it's Tim Burton-ish too, right? Tim Schafer is the developer, right? But it's very like Tim Burton like inspired for sure. Did you play it? Did you guys play the original Psychonauts? Yeah.
No, man, I saw the new one coming out. I've seen Psychonauts for years. It kept showing up on the PlayStation Store for PS3. I kept seeing it in stores when it was on PS2, and I just never picked it up.
Dalan, you have an active Game Pass right now, right?
I do. I planned on playing it. I got it. I already have it installed. Okay. I'm ready.
Luis, did you play Psychonauts 1, man? Are you hyped for the second one?
Yeah, I actually never beat it. I know that it was a super critically acclaimed game. A lot of people loved it, but I just never finished it, so I never got the full hype. I'll,
I heard
I'll
it was
probably
very
check out the
mind-bending.
second one though.
I
But
guess Game Passable, man. It's free, right? At least you could try it out, right? You could at least load it up, see what's up with it. Now, Dalan, one game. So speaking of Xbox era games, we've been playing Halo 1, man. Halo 1 co-op, dude.
Anniversary edition.
Anniversary edition, and we keep. I don't know about you, but I keep going back and forth between the anniversary graphics and the old graphics. Like, oh wow, this is for real, for real. That's
And what makes it excellent is that you could do that at the flip of a button. You just press the button and just switch it off. You can't do it in the middle of a cutscene. And man, they don't
really want to. They don't want to show you how crappy the cutscenes were, man. They don't let you switch it during cutscenes. But it's kind of nice. Like there's no pause, because I know there's been other games that do it where you can get the new graphics into the old ones, and there's like it kind of blacks out, like, or it kind of blacks out and goes into a different. This one's like quick. You press that switch. You
don't even notice it. I don't even notice it.
But yeah, some of it definitely no dual wielding, right? And it's gotten better. It definitely, the game has gotten better. But like when we were playing it in legendary mode, and the AI is still damn good, dude. Like they flank you, they're still like hiding behind you. They
swarm you.
If you throw a grenade, like they wait till that grenade goes off before they kind of get closer. And we got off of it because it just was taking too long, right, to play it in legendary.
Yeah.
But it's pretty nice. It's definitely really nice. So we stepped down a little bit. What do you think, Dalan? We got beat it, man. I'm kind of hyped to go back into it.
After we do this Back for Blood beta tonight, if we stay on longer, I'm down to do some Halo co-op.
All right, there we go, man. Halo will be playing. And the reason we're playing through it is to get you ready for Halo Infinite, right? I played through all the Halos already, but we're gonna get you through.
I played 1 and 2 and part of 3, but I never beat it. So I don't remember the story well enough. In this case, we were doing legendary modes for so long that I almost missed the beginning story of this game. I had to really pay attention to what was going on. I guess we're just trying to save lives right now.
We're shooting shit, dude. That's really what it is. Luis, did you play through all the Halos, man, or any of the Halos, or you got to join us?
I've never played a story of any single one. I never had an Xbox.
Oh man!
So
now you can play it on PC, man. Halo Anniversary Edition. You can play it on there. You know what I'm saying?
Hey man, I'll play it with you because I actually still have it on.
Oh, I did tell Dalan that we'll play on his file. So if he wants to do whatever, I already played through it. I'll join him whenever. But maybe we could play with Dalan as well. There is one of them, I forget which. I think with 3 you can do up to 4-player co-op. I think you got to join us for that at least, Lise.
Well, Carlos, you also got to understand that when we were trying to do crossplay, that we could not do campaign because for some reason it wouldn't let us crossplay between PC and Xbox. Right. So when I'm playing on Xbox, I'll play with you. But if Luis wants to start a file on PC, I'm down to play on PC with him.
Figure that out. Some nonsense. You know what's some other nonsense though? The Steam Deck size comparisons. If you guys can't see it online, but or watching us, but if you guys look up there's some Steam Deck size comparisons out there. Right now we're looking at the Switch on top of the Steam Deck. I mean, dude, I'm not carrying this crap around. I'm not grabbing the Steam Deck. I'm just not feeling it. I mean, I already feel like the Switch takes too much space. Dalan, are you showing it on video? I hope you can get it on video. I hope you don't have sensitive information that you're about to pop on screen.
No, I don't have sensitive information. But
maybe
if you can see it, you're recording the screen, right?
It doesn't show it, man. I'm recording something, but it's basically a Switch on top of the Steam Deck. If you guys can Google it, it looks ridiculous. They also put it next to all these other systems. They put it next to a GBA, a Game Gear, a Switch, and a Vita. This thing is wild, man. I'm not sure, man. Let me borrow yours, Luis. You're gonna grab one, right, Luis?
No.
Oh damn. Okay, Dalan, you gonna get a Steam Deck?
Maybe not immediately. They need to fix some of those issues first.
How are you guys feeling about the size of this thing? This behemoth.
Stupid.
It's about what I would expect, honestly. If I were to get one, I probably wouldn't take it out of the house at much or at all. I'd probably just use it if I'm about to go to bed and I want to get a
That's what's kind of weird about it, right? Like it's definitely like one of those things where it's like I think the appeal, I know the appeal for me if I was to get one of these was the fact that you kind of have like the whole Steam library available to you, right? Like that's the idea, and kind of sort of portable form. And for me, I think I have a powerful enough PC, but I mean this gives me like I don't know. It's attractive in that way where I have access to the whole library and I can play it outside or wherever around the house. But it's like you're saying, dude, I don't know about taking this nowhere. I'm sure the battery's gonna die in like 2 seconds too when you get that out there. But that's the Steam Deck. That's the show for this week. Again, I'm your host, Carlos Macias. Thank you guys for joining us. And of course, Dalan Kirkwood up in the mountains. Thank you for joining us again, sir.
I know something about chicken.
Oh wow, get your mentals right. You feel me, though? Luis Mendez, thank you for joining us again, sir. We'll see you next week, man. If you're chicken. Hey, take care of your chicken, and I hope you're still you don't have to come back from the dead next time. It's a slow week, this week. All right, see you guys next week. Maybe there's some bigger things. All right, latest.